Jess is saying that she's new to the term shift right.
Mm-hmm.
And so what is a practical example of a tester specifically doing this? I think you may have given an example of this already.
Yeah, I mean, I can do it again. I mean, to me, it's a little bit context dependent on the kind of application that you're running. But to me, shifting right as a concept is all about what are your users actually doing? How do you track what they're actually doing? And first question is, how do you make sure that the tracking mechanism is correct? Because that's software like any others, but doesn't usually get tested like software. It just sort of gets coded at the last minute and then sent out. And sometimes it's broken and people don't know it for months. So that's one thing. Second thing is, once you establish that it's correct, what are your users actually doing? And is that guiding how you compose your tests specifically around, it starts with, or what I would say is, it guides how you compose your tests beyond just what browsers are being used. That's an easy answer. But how are your users actually interacting with your product? Because I think in the past, people always just speculated endlessly about how people were going to use their product. And then it's only been kind of in the last 8 to 10 years, we've even started to say, how do we know that we're right? But we still, at no point in this process, do we really involve the testing team to guide their efforts in this matter. I mean, we do on occasion, usually when I've done talks about this in front of 500 people, and I get 6 people who raise their hands and say, yeah, we're involved in that. The number's increasing every time I do the talk, but it's still pretty low. Yeah, and Jeff Palmer is correct. E-commerce primarily, I think that's where I start. Like, that's where my thought process starts, is anything to do with e-commerce where you're putting something out to millions of users. I would also include finance, banks, where you're putting stuff out to tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of users. I might not necessarily worry about this too much in the case of small boutique B2B kind of software. Still a little bit. You want to worry about the ergonomics of your software and find out if there's a link that's just never being clicked or a page that's never being loaded, that's never being interacted with. But I think primarily e-commerce and huge volume websites.